The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Let's check in on the campaign trail of Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, who is currently in Bataan. To give us the latest, we have JC Cosico now joining us on the line. He's in Bataan. JC, good morning. What do you have for us?
Charles, the convoy of Aksyon Demokratiko Senator Manila Mayor Isko Moreno is currently on its way to Samal Bataan. But prior to this, they began the day in Pilar, Bataan, where he was met with supporters. Recall that Moreno used to work as a farmland in that town. And following his visit in Pilar, their team went to Balanga for a courtesy call with the Balanga Bishop Roberto Robles. And Moreno also had his forehead imposed with ashes since it's Ash Wednesday. Charles.
Do we know whether Mayor Isko is in favor of the possible restoration of the Bataan nuclear power plant?
Charles, according to Mayor Isko, he is not in favor of reviving the Bataan nuclear power plant, saying it is unsafe. He said that there are so much more sources of energy, coal, gas, and among others. That's why he is saying that he will focus on other sources of energy, which he said is much safer to the environment. Charles.
JC, and what did Moreno have to say about the war on drugs? Will he continue support for this?
Yes, according to Moreno, Charles, that whoever wins the presidency, he also should continue the war on drugs campaign of the current administration. But his war on drugs or his anti-narcotics campaign will focus on the source or the supplier of these drugs, Charles.
JC, could you tell us a bit more about what else is lined up for Mayor Isko for the rest of the day?
Charles, is going to be a jam-packed day for Mayor Isko following his visit in Samal. He will also head to Pampanga, where he will also conduct a motorcade in the provincial capital, and he will also have a courtesy call with Pampanga Governor Dennis Pineda. That's later this afternoon, Charles.
Thanks for that, JC, and stay safe. That was JC Cosico reporting from Bataan. Vice presidential candidate Sara Duterte refused to comment on the allegations that she and her running mate Bongbong Marcos Jr. are cowards for not attending presidential debates. Recall that another VP candidate, Professor Walden Bello, accused the Unity of deliberately avoiding debates due to their lack of courage. The presidential daughter said she has no comment to these allegations since her team is still discussing the issue. And the younger Duterte also said that she respects her father's decision to not personally endorse any standard bearer for the May polls.
Merong kanya-kanya talagang direksyon ang mga partido and ang mga politicians, and we respect the president kung ano yung kanyang paninindigan with regard to endorsements.
This from the Philippine Star. President Duterte held a meeting on Tuesday with ranking military and police officials to discuss the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Cabinet members and businessmen also joined the so-called special meeting. Acting presidential spokesperson Carlo Nograles is expected to issue a statement soon regarding the outcome of this meeting. And he said the president wants to make sure that Filipinos are aware of the situation in Ukraine and its implications in the Philippines. The Philippines on Monday voted yes to a UN General Assembly resolution explicitly condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In other news, aside from repatriation efforts from the government, the Filipino community in neighboring countries of Ukraine are offering help to our distressed kababayans. Marian Enriquez with the story.
So this is our situation. We're inside the car with my 2 children and we're waiting for the ferry to open.
35-year-old Filipino Jeremil, his Ukrainian wife, and their 2 children traveled for 18 hours to leave Odessa, Ukraine, as war with Russia continues.
Haven't crossed the border because in Moldova they didn't allow us to cross because we are Filipino.
After not being allowed to enter Moldova, they went to the Suceava border in Romania.
So along the way, talagang maririnig mo yung mga pagbagsak ng bomba, paglipad ng rocket. Yung mga bata parang hindi sila mapakali. Iyak na iyak sa loob ng sasakyan.
Even though it was painful for them to leave behind their home, they had no choice.
Yung building namin, ang laki ng crack sa wall. So talagang ang laki ng damage na nangyayari ngayon doon.
What's important for Jeremil's family now is that they were able to flee to Romania, all thanks to Filipinos living in the area. Among those who helped Jeremil and his family were Josephine and Albeth from the Filipino Free Movement in Romania. They offered their home to serve as temporary shelter for Jeremil's family in Bucharest.
So lahat po yan, galing po yan sa komunidad ng mga Pilipino dito. Daming damit, foods, chocolates, mga toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, dilata, mga water, mga coats, sapatos.
Food, clothes, and toiletries were also sent for refugees along the Romanian border. Despite being in another country, Albert and Josephine admit fear is still present.
So dahil ito yung pinakamalapit na parang neighbor ng Ukraine, so gagamitin lang parang military bases. So is yung Poland at saka yung Romania. So talagang nakaka-bother siya.
The Philippine government is now doubling its efforts to bring home Filipinos from Ukraine. Even though Philippines is open to Ukrainian spouses of Filipinos, Ukraine is not allowing men aged 18 to 60 years old to leave the country due to martial law. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Small business owners are feeling the brunt of high crude prices, with LPG prices going up by almost 8 pesos per kilo. Shyla Francisco tells us more.
Michelle was looking forward to more customers as Metro Manila shifts to Alert Level 1. But instead of more income, she was greeted by additional costs as LPG prices increased for the second straight month today.
Yung kita namin bumababa rin kasi ngayon parang anuhan na yung tao. Marami nang kumakain, bumabalik na naman sa normal. Bawas pa rin yung kita.
Effective Tuesday, LPG prices have gone up by almost 8 pesos per kilo. This translates to an almost 90 peso increase for an 11 kilogram tank. Auto LPG also increased by over 4 pesos per kilo. Based on the Energy Department's monitoring, LPG prices for 11 kilogram tanks are now 800 pesos to over 1,000 pesos in Metro Manila, excluding the recent price hike. Aside from LPG, gasoline prices have also increased for a 9th straight week. Suppliers explained that LPG prices were supposed to go down this month, but due to the ongoing tension between Ukraine and Russia, this did not push through. Prices of crude, a raw material used in LPG, hiked amid the conflict. Suppliers fear that stocks could be affected if European countries stop buying natural gas from Russia.
Ito yung natural gas. So the tendency is they have to go to Middle East to buy for their needs for fuel. Natural gas kasi is the main source of heating ng EU.
Not only LPG and fuel, but also prices of other commodities may also go up due to higher fuel prices. The Trade Department says it has not yet received any price hike requests. The DTI is talking to manufacturers to temper price hikes in products not covered by the SRP. Based on the agency's computation, fuel only accounts 3 to 5% of distribution costs, but its effect on production costs could be higher. Shyla Francisco, we are One News.
And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.